Yeah, the table talk is it's live. It's live. It reminds me of Precious. Uh, okay, so we're live here right now. Good afternoon to anyone and everybody out there who's watching this. It's a live stream, so we could go on a stretch and talk about a lot of things that is popping up on the transfer window. I mean, I like sports, so I want to focus on sports today. Let's leave every other conversation out of the converse, out of the talk, and let's focus on the things that I love to talk about, and that's as sports. For now, someone asked me to talk about Chelsea's situation. Well, let me check the message again on Twitter. It was in my inbox, and kind of like serious, serious conversation. And when somebody comes, okay, it's Famball. Hashtag ad learning easy living. You say, I've been eagerly waiting to have you speak on Chelsea's pursuit of Higuain and turning over Morata on your YouTube channel. When should I tune in, sir? Because I really enjoyed your analysis last time on the NFL crisis. I could not help but to do a live comment. Thank you very much, Sir Fembo, for that. And it's on my conversation today. Oluwafemi Adebola, I hope that's your message I just read. The names that people bear on different platforms are different, so it's difficult to really know if this is that person or that person is this person. But let's try and keep it going. I mean, for now, the table talk will always be done in my living room. We're trying to Elegbete TV, trying to get an office space. We're still working on that. When that is done, we'll have the table talk there, and most likely we'll be able to invite a few guests to come in and join in the conversation, so that it's not just me that is talking. We're working a whole lot on the background to get something done. Yeah. So guys, bear with us. It's not as if we just went cold or quiet on you guys, but there's a whole lot. I mean, setting up the kind of structure that we have in mind takes a lot of money. And sometimes people, when you talk to people about virtual business, a business where they ask you what's your return on investment and everything is tied to the internet. Everybody just think that any business that is on the internet is a fraud or is a scam, or you're trying to. And if you have a dream, be careful who you also share it with, because sometimes you sit down with people and you think you're on a lockdown business conversation, but then the response becomes different. But let's leave that for another day. Let's focus on the matter. So let me start with Chelsea. I'm going to answer your question, Oluwafemi Adebola. I think that going from what happened last season, how the Conte meltdown started from the SMS that is sent to Diego Costa, and how they tried to do the grandstand thing, like, okay, no matter what happened, we're going to survive, we're going to get through it. Check that. Okay, go and meet Auntie Precious, please. Yeah, go and meet Auntie Precious. She'll help you out. Okay, all the balloon, the bubbles that was popped up with that issue. I thought that the team that would be most prepared for the transfer, especially owing to the fact that Chelsea were also among those people who agreed to the transfer window ending before the start of the season. And bearing in mind the kind of money they have, and how they've also, before Man City and Paris Saint-Germain came in, Chelsea have also been part of those who dictate and control the transfer window. I thought that they would be precision perfect. But then you look at the cabal, or the empire, the Roman Empire. It seems like Roma really doesn't reign as much as Michael left. We find out that maybe Michael actually does a lot more than is credited for. And then they were trying to settle down. And Roman Abramovich's Chelsea reminds me of many Nigerian businesses where management employs people more because they can gossip or they can do eye service, not because they are really effective. Because if you look at Chelsea, as much as they want to do this grandstanding that, okay, we've got it going on where Chelsea will survive, I think that they've not really done well. You have a preseason coming in. You know that the window is very short. You know that this is a World Cup year. It also means that things will not go as you expect. You also know that there is 21 days cut off from the original transfer window that you are used to since time immemorial. You've not signed the right players. You allow Conte to come in and start preseason training, and then in the middle you cut him off. For me, the players will be looking at them like, what's happening in this club? I mean, I don't want to be part of this club. Little wonder Hazard and Thibaut Courtois are now giving this type of attitude. If the season had ended and Chelsea are like, Antonio Conte, we're cutting ties with you. After all, Chelsea have sacked many coaches before, better than Conte and the rest of them, and they've done their business very well. So if they had come up like, any ties with you, announced a new man, and then they start planning for their transfer, I think this would have been better. Yeah, there was a little problem of the Russia-British problem that also affected Roman Abramovich, but I think that is a club. A club has a board. If Roman Abramovich is not there, Roman Abramovich can be anywhere in the world and still be running his business. After all, the guys that run Arsenal don't stay in the UK. So using that as an excuse, as some Chelsea fans want us to believe, I don't go with it. But let's come to the question that Oluwafemi Adebola asked. Swapping Morata for Gonzalo Higuain. I think that it's a wrong move. Morata for me, yeah, because Chelsea is a club that have high level of demand. The expectations are very high. So if you play for Chelsea, it seems like you're playing for Real Madrid, even though Chelsea is not as big as Real Madrid. But I mean, they've been one of the most successful clubs in Europe in the last 10 years or 12 years. So that said, you need to perform or you get shipped out. But we've also noticed that they are too much, shipping out in a hurry, like they did with Salah, like they did with kept scoring goals. It will help them win the title, when it mattered most the previous season. I think that they should have just left him there to get into the groove, but they didn't do that. So it's good. Higuain is not a fast-paced player. He's not that kind of player that will jump off the block immediately and attack those balls. That's one. Higuain is not the kind of striker you want to play as a lone striker. Higuain is another version of Olivier Giroud. Hold up play. Higuain, Giroud, Benzema, they are all in the same. And then Higuain is 30 years old. I don't know how many 30 years old strikers have come into the Premiership and proved to be very, very effective, especially the ones that does not have guile and craft. So I think that they should let Morata stay. They should also keep Olivier Giroud. And maybe if there was a striker that needed to pursue, it should have been Icardi. Yeah, Mario Icardi. For me, that's my opinion. Should have gone for Mario Icardi, but I don't know. Mario Icardi is a bit faster. He's the kind of player that can give you snapshots. He's the kind of player that can drift wide and come back into the middle. He can score the balls as well. But Gonzalo Higuain in the Premiership, that you have to run, walk, and most likely the way Sarri plays. I know that in 2015-2016 season, he scored 36 goals in 35 games, and coach get obsessed with those kind of players. Once you perform signs and wonders for them one season, they believe that you will always have the capacity to repeat it. Even with Scolari, when in 2014 he decided to bring Fred and all those players to the Brazilian national team, and we know how it ended. I think that that decision by them is not good. But then not all is bad with Chelsea. The way they are able to sign Jorginho, it's a good transfer. For me, it's a good, it's a good catch. It's something that has helped them to stabilize that middle. Now, what Chelsea must do is they must not let Eden Hazard go. Not like I rate Eden Hazard as high as they rate him, but he's a squad player. He's a player in the squad, so you need him in that squad. So it's very, very important for them to keep him in the squad. Another player who doesn't get as much credit as he deserves in the Chelsea team is Willian. And when you look at Willian, I think he's the guy who works his socks off. He bends back over for everybody. He's not looking. It's like another N'Golo Kante. He's not looking for praise. He's not looking for appreciation. He just want to play football. He just want to help his team to get results. Some days, he could go for number of games off color, not play very well, but he always does come good. There is a patch of 10, 15 games where he does come good. And those are the kind of players you need, because people who want to put in the shift and not seek attention, but if you let him go, a lot of Chelsea fans will be saying that he's not doing well. The question is, if he's not doing well, how come, clubs are still willing to put up to £60 million for him? That's something to consider. Another thing that Chelsea also struggles with last season is creativity, maybe because of the way Conte play. And Maurizio Sarri is a direct opposite of Conte. Conte is almost close to Jose Mourinho in terms of play, but a little bit more pragmatic. So if they get their right going and they pull through, they need a creative player to get them going. And then if the style of play changes a bit, it just might help them. But this urge, I think that when Chelsea is signing a coach, they should also impress it upon the coach that, look, you work with the players that we have. It's not just a bad because Roman Abramovich have money, we should spend the money. Because now the way Sarri can tell you if he doesn't get the players he want and he fails, he tell you, okay, you didn't get the players that I requested for, that's why I failed. And that's not really good. Let me go to the comment section. Oluwafemi Adebola said, most often I see Icardi in the mood of a faster Giroud. Yes. What if Chelsea retains Giroud, Morata, and Batshuayi? Will we be still good to go? Yeah, if they retain them, they will be good to go. Would they win the title? If that's what you want me to answer, I don't think Chelsea will win the title, irrespective of who they sign. You see, the English Premier League is such a very, very I don't want to use the word tactical now, but it's such a league that you easily get left behind. Left behind in the sense that the style that Maurizio Sarri plays is a system that is almost close to Pep Guardiola's system. The same, little wonder he has not won anything since. Yes, he plays beautiful football, but he's not won anything in his career. Remember that. So if you don't start off the block immediately as a Chelsea coach, if it doesn't kick off the block immediately and go on like 5, 6 games, 10 games winning streak without losing, so that the confidence will be solid, they just might lose it. If he goes, say, 5 games, lose 3, win 2, or win 3, lose 2, the season is already shaky. If he goes and lose at home, because with that kind of style he wants to play, he wants to keep possession, he wants to knock the ball around, he wants to be adventurous, wants to be very, very attack-minded. And, if you play that style, let's go back to AVB. What happens with playing that style is that most teams that play like that will play high-line offense. When you don't have the psychological edge that somebody like Sir Alex Ferguson had in his days, you want to play high line of defense, it's going to always be a problem. You're coming to a new league, you need to get the balance. And then this is not the same type of team that Scolari inherited or Carlo Ancelotti inherited with Chelsea. This is a team that is in disarray. This is a team that is struggling. Some of the main force want out. This is no longer the team that had the spine of Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, John Terry, Makelele, Makelesian, and all the likes. This is a different team entirely. This is a team that can be bullied. This is a team that can be hassled. So if Maurizio Sarri wants to play that style of play that he plays at Chelsea, at Napoli, the question is, it doesn't have the Mario Amsic in this team. It doesn't have those kind of players that will walk the walk for him, because if he had gotten people like Lampard, Terry, ACN, maybe, yeah, it's doable. I know he's got N'Golo Kante, now he's got Jorginho, he's got Willian. They must do everything to keep Willian. If they want to play that style they're asking for, they must do everything to keep Willian. Hazard, I think Chelsea can let Hazard go. They can find a better replacement for him. I think they can let him go. I'm not a fan of Hazard, because I always tell people that I don't see what he does. Hazard does not have assists up to Fabregas, who doesn't play matches. Hazard does not score a lot of goals, but people always tell me that he's the most foul player. That's the statistics that doesn't count. Maybe coming from a coaching position and from a football player. If I look at Hazard, I tell people that the reason why Hazard gets so far is he doesn't release the ball on time. In this era, the best football players are the ones who release the ball faster. The same team he plays in the national team, Kevin De Bruyne plays in that same team, and Kevin De Bruyne releases the ball. If the way my colleague, my partner would say, if Belgium was looking for a goal, they'll go to Kevin De Bruyne. If they're looking to while away time, they'll go to Hazard. I mean, I don't think I want to keep a player on my team because he's a guy who wants to while away time. I need a player who will make us score a lot of goals. If you look at the way Man City play, get the ball, quick decision, split the passes, and get the ball into the net. Come back again, regroup, stop the position from playing, get the ball again, quick decision, split passes, get the ball into the net, come back again. And I think that's what makes them fantastic. When Manchester United was reigning under Sir Alex Ferguson, it was the same thing. David Beckham does not keep the ball too long on his feet. So you've got to be able to whip in those crosses when you need to whip them in. You've got to create assists. You've got to help your teammate to score goals, not hanging on the ball, dancing in one place, keeping your low center of gravity. I don't have any issues with him, but I think that that's the problem with Eddie That sometimes he plays the team backward. One good season, then the next season they are fumbling. Matthias Jacob Abba say, where do you think Man United will finish at the end of the season? Now let's come to Manchester United. I think we're done with talking about Chelsea. Let's come to Man United. I think that the World Cup would affect Man United in a lot of ways, and it will put Jose Mourinho on the spotlight. Now this is the reason. All through last season, it was a talk about not knowing how to use Pogba this, Pogba that. Now look at the way Deschamps used Pogba. First off, he got N'Golo Kante to screen the defense line, stay in front of the defense. Your job is not to go forward. Your job is not to make passes. We're not interested in giving anybody passes. Just get the ball and push it out to the other guys. They would know what to do. Then he also played Blaise Matuidi as a force winger. He starts up like he's playing on the right-hand side, but then he comes back to solidify the midfield to make sure the penetration of the opposition is not, consistent. Now, Pogba, that gives Pogba the reign to get the ball and pass and push on, hold on to play when he needs to. Like, that kind of a regulator is a thermometer. You understand me? It tells you when the temperature is high and when it's low, So he regulates play by the way he plays. Now, coming back to Manchester United, I don't know how Mourinho will play him, but if Mourinho not put too much work on him, Pogba last season still did not have anything to show for all of his hype and all those stuff. So when people criticize him, he could still be psychologically asking himself. Right now, he's come to that place where he will look at the English press who likes to criticize him, his haircut, and tell them that, look, I did the same thing. I went to the World Cup and I won the World Cup. And then to make matters worse, that video that came out from the dressing room where Pogba was inspiring his teammates, telling them how they lost the finals of the Euros 2 years ago, and then they've come back again. They need to win this one, and eventually they gone on to win the finals in a high-scoring game. And he also, cried it all up by scoring that goal and contributing. He really ran the game in that game. At Sean Rakitic and Modric, who's the golden ball, a well-deserved golden ball winner. You put all that in the mix, and it tells you he can no longer be bullied. Nobody can mention the 89 million spent on him anymore, because this time around he's going to be coming like, hey, guys, Silva medal winner from the Euros 2 seasons ago, and I'm a World Cup winner. Show me some respect. Put some respect to my name. And once that happens, it's going to be difficult for anybody to judge him. So the pressure will now move to Jose Mourinho, like, okay, you're obviously the one not using him properly. Didier Deschamps, the job that Didier Deschamps was able to do in 7 games, you've not been able to do. But people will forget that the league is not 7 games. The league is a very long haul, and you don't need to play. Because if we must be honest, Pogba had 3 great games at the World Cup. 3 great games. Other than that, it was also that puffing and offing Pogba that we saw at Manchester United. But then when you win the World Cup, it's a different kettle of fish entirely. Some people score 6 goals in this tournament, they win. Olivier Giroud didn't score a single by World Cup. So a single goal, was the top striker, but they won the World Cup. You understand me? So you look at and you say Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez to be Alexis Sanchez. But the problem with Alexis Sanchez is similar to what I have with Hazard. He hangs onto the ball too much, turns around too many times, doesn't release his teammate when he wants to. Alexis Sanchez serves on the shrines of Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez plays for Alexis Sanchez. And most times doesn't play for the team. The only time I saw Alexis Sanchez play for the team was when he played for Chile or Jorge Sampaoli. And I guess maybe he was afraid of Vidal and the rest. I don't know. But that's when I saw him play for the team. Alexis Sanchez played for his... I remember when he was at Arsenal. I always say that as good as he does, his best season, I started making the top 4. And people didn't understand what I was saying. And he's gone to Manchester United again. Now he's just almost like the same guy we saw at Barcelona. Alexis Sanchez plays for himself. If Jose Mourinho can get him to play for the team, you understand? Release the ball, set the strikers free, it's fine. Now Manchester United have an asset and a liability in Lukaku. Lukaku is a center forward, but can't play the Drogba role of standing there bullying everybody. But then he gets a lot of goals, but doesn't show consistency with the goals. So people would throw statistics of the youngest player to hit 100 goals, blah, 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 in your face. Having said that, I think it needs to be more of a focal point striker who stays in that middle. Let everybody know that give me the ball, get the ball to me, like Duatio kind of striker, get the ball to me, and I'll work wonders. What they lack now is, I think Alexis Sanchez needs to play the Cantona role. be arrogant, have an attitude. I don't have a problem with players who have an attitude. An attitude myself, but get the job done. So if he doesn't get the job done, people start questioning his attitude. Same for Pogba. So when you start questioning the attitude of Pogba, Alexis Sanchez, and these are foreign players who are not from England, it easily gets to them. Once it gets to them, they start dropping shoulders. And then the humble ones like Mata and the rest of them who don't have attitude, but sometimes they easily melt away, they easily get drifted away. It's a problem. So I really, really would hope and wish that those elements will get going. Now let's move to Liverpool. Oluwafemi Adebola, he said, thanks Elegbete for answering my question. Questions still remain, but maybe on other platforms. No, you can throw up your question. You actually can throw up your questions. Every question you have, put it on the comment section. It is that person who spends their time to be here that I will respond to that question. So whatever question you have, let's have it. It's the table talk. I'm here to answer your question. It makes it interesting when there are questions to ask. But let's move to Liverpool and talk about Liverpool. Spending that much money on the goalkeeper, Alisson, is good, but is Alisson really as good a goalkeeper that will give you 15 to 20 points a season? I can't say for sure. Now, goalkeepers are as good as the solidity of their defense. We've seen that with Czech. When he was at Chelsea, it was a goalkeeper that gives you 15 to 20 points every season. We've seen that with Thibaut Courtois. We've seen that with David De Gea. But as soon as the defense line is not as solid as you expect in front of them, you don't have defenders who are willing to block the ball with their eyes like John Terry. You don't have people who will stretch incredibly like, what's it called? What's Ferreira, right? That's Portuguese defender. Those same goalkeepers who will catch a fly, who will catch ants, catch anything, begins to struggle. If Liverpool still have not fixed the problem with their left fullback and their right fullback and gotten somebody else to pair with, I don't think Lovren is world class. Remember when Lovren said he was world class? After that, he considered shifting 4 goals in the finals of the World Cup. I don't think Lovren is a world class. He just had tireless people who worked in front of him during the World Cup. And when those people were not willing to work and then he played against a team that was tactically astute in France, he shipped in 4 goals. And the way Liverpool is programmed, they just might struggle. But good, they've gotten Naby Keita. Now, Naby Keita would have to play to instruction and sit back more than go forward. Yes, it does remind me of Michael Essien. It does, also have a bit of Sani Keita. No. Malian defensive midfielder that played at Nigeria 99, that played for Barcelona. My worry with Liverpool this season actually is in 3 men up front. These guys are coming from a World Cup where, if we want to say it away, and Roberto Firmino won the World Cup and flopped just the same way Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus flopped at the World Cup. So coming into this season, if the 3 players you have are coming with drop shoulders, they need to knuckle themselves up and find their psychological edge. Sometimes it might take a rude awakening. Sometimes you need to do something extra. And we're going to be having the shortest preseason. After the World Cup, the preseason is very short. All of these could just affect Liverpool. They might not have the stats that you expect from them. That just my count against them. Now, the ring of them all, Arsenal. Everybody's asking me about Arsenal. Joseph Smith, he said, do you think that Man United need another defender? Yes, I think so. I think that when Man United play, over the years, Man United plays with natural defenders. Every time I see people talk about this wing back team, because it worked one season with Conte at Chelsea, doesn't mean it's natural way. You see, an adapter and a direct socket are 2 different things. The reason why you need an adapter is because you do not have the right plug, so you're trying to make do with what you have. But once you're done with that, you need to go back and get the right socket so that you don't have one thing on top of another. So playing Young as a wing back at Manchester United, to me, it doesn't fit in at all. You need to get a natural defender playing there. There was a time where Manchester United the back line of Manchester United make you shiver. You look at this Manchester United defense, most times through the wing, there's a problem. And Manchester United traditionally play through the wings and cut on the ball. And I know that anybody's going to be like, okay, should we always continue like that? My take is that if it has always worked, then let's stick with it. That's my take. in anything. If it has always worked and you've not seen something better, stick to what works. Okay, so for me, Man United need defenders on the flank, and let's not forget that you're letting Blind go. Marcus Rojo is different when he plays for Argentina than when he plays for Manchester United. I don't know if he's going to come good. You're letting Damian. I hear that they are letting Damian go. They're letting a whole lot of players go. I mean, look at Shaw. Shaw, with all the talk about Shaw last season, he's still going to be at Manchester United. Who fears Shaw? Let's be very honest. Who fears Shaw? With all of Mourinho's strength in defense, I think the materials has got to work with in that defensive end. It's not really as good as we expect. One of the reasons why Manchester United came second last season is David De Gea. The big palm save. There are so many. Now the question is, how many times will David De Gea save you for? That's why your goalkeeper consistently is the man of match. I don't have a problem with your goalkeeper being your best player of the season, but I have a problem with your defenders exposing the goalkeeper too much. There was a time where you had Peter Schumacher, who I still believe is better, is a million miles ahead of David De Gea. But it was never the player of the season. I don't know if he ever won Manchester United player of the season. You know why? Because the Gary Pallisters of this world, the Steve Bruce of this world, the Iwin brothers, Dennis Iwin and the Neville brothers were all holding the fort and making sure that that team was solid at the back. And then going forward, all of the players that came in. And then after that, you have the Jab Stam, the Ferdinand, who's one of the best ball playing ever to play in the English League. All of these players came in good, but I don't think Manchester United have those kind of players right now. Taiwo Somoye say, Elegbete, what is Arsenal's chance this season? Thanks. For me, I don't think Arsenal have a shot at the title. Let me be very honest. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm going to be very honest. I'm very happy that it's gone. My happiness that Wenger is gone is that Arsenal now have a different approach to doing things. It's a different setup. I am willing to be very patient with Unai Emery. Unai Emery is not the guy who's going to win us the Premier League, win us the Champions League. He might do something in his usual competition, the Europa in training. And in football, when players are happy in training, when Conte came to Chelsea, even though they won the title, the players were always complaining about his training, his attitude, his very, very aggressive way. But this one, the players are happy. We hear that Ozil decided to come to training earlier, resume training earlier, because the players keep calling him and telling him about how exciting it is to train under Unai Emery. It also tells you that the Wenger style was boring. Let's not forget that at the middle of the World Cup, Arsenal had already resumed training, pre-season training. If it was under Wenger, we'll wait for the World Cup to end for him to come back from his side hustle before we resume training. So I think that they pretty much have a chance to make the top four. Arsenal are a genuine candidate for the top four right now. It feels shameful talking about top four, but it is what it is, because Man City is still the odds-on favorite to win the title. But I think I'm still asking Kun Aguero and Gabriel Jesus, they need to snap out of that place where they are in right now. But they are still odds-on favorite because they still have Sané. Now they're trying to sell Raheem Sterling anyway, but they've gotten Mahrez, they still have Sané, they still have David Silva, they still have the best player in the league by any miles, Kevin De Bruyne, in the team. Definitively, I don't know what they will do, whether they will reinforce, I don't know. But if they play the Pep Guardiola way and keep pushing, they just might win the league again. The thing that would distract this Man City anyway is that I know that this season, this is the third season for Pep Guardiola, he wants to win the Champions League. It's been long. He's put his hand on that Champions League. He wants to win the Champions League, and that just might distract them from the league. So it might just be something. But then you look at the other teams that are coming into the party. I don't think there is enough fuel in their tank to trouble anybody. So Man City, also favorite to win the league title. Manchester United, I don't know where they will finish, but they still have enough in them to make the top four. Liverpool, if they don't get that attack back to snap back into the mood they were in last season, they just might struggle to be top four. Chelsea, they've not convinced me yet. They helped fulfill my prediction of them last season that they will not make the top four. I don't think that they still have it in them. Tottenham Hotspur is a team that will fall off the top four. Tottenham Hotspur will not make the top four this season. And people look at me like, well, what are you saying? I said it, I was in one forum and I said it, and people were like, are you crazy? Like, every player is there. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think they'll make the top four. Where am I getting that from? I think Hurricane has become London use. It's been overused. It's about time the law of diminishing return will tell on him. For the past 4 seasons, he's been scoring and scoring and scoring, and then he's gone to the World Cup. And remember, after the Panama game, he couldn't score again. He's running tight now. It's going to go on break. Ali also couldn't sort out the difference in his left foot and his right foot, coming back into that team. And then there are a few players who now, because all of a sudden, Hurricane is earning £200,000 a week, and they also didn't get the review they think they deserve. And then look at themselves like, we all work together. I mean, he's scoring goals because we're giving him the pass. There's going to be a little bit of crisis in Tottenham Hotspur's team. And that's the opening that teams like Arsenal and Chelsea would have to look at to snatch. Unless Sarri gets the players he needs to play his style and he gets the team working as fast as possible. I think that one slot that will fall out, because it's still possible for Man City, Man United, top 4 candidates, top 2 candidates, Liverpool, another team that could still 50-50 anyway, could still make it into the top 4. Arsenal could make it and join them in that top 4. Joseph Smith is Elegbete. When do you always have this show? It's quite interesting to hear you live and interact as well. Well, it's not every day, but so let me show you something. Let me show you how messy. This is my living room. This is my dining. You see computers everywhere. So this is now a workstation. Okay, we made it a workstation for now. We'll focus on a whole lot of things, but I'm trying to make it an everyday, Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. Show. I'm trying to make it a Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. show. 3 to 4 is a one-hour show where we can get this interaction going. It's a table talk. So I've had a few ones before, but I mean, a lot of people, Wenji, Oluwafemi Adebola, a lot of people like, let's have it going. It doesn't matter even if it is only 2 people that are viewing. If it doesn't matter if it is only 1 person that is viewing. If you were on radio before, would you count how many people who are listening to you? And it's true. But sometimes when you look at numbers, it doesn't really encourage to go. But we'll keep having it going and run it through. Now let's jump out of the EPL and go to the Spanish La Liga. I'll touch a bit on Real Madrid. They let Cristiano Ronaldo go. They've not decided who is going to come in. It doesn't even look like they want to bring in anybody in. More like they're telling Garibay, rise up to the occasion. Karim Benzema, if you're going to stay, rise up to the occasion. It's up to Juan Lopetegui to show what stuff is made of right now and burn up the team, give them the right preseason, prepare them very well, and psych them up. Somewhere at the No Camp 2, you look at Messi coming up from a very, very terrible World Cup, very, very not so good World Cup, coming in now into that team. Barcelona have been spending money. They've spent close to 300 million trying to replace Peter Flo. Good evening, sir. Yeah, they've been trying to replace Xavi. Andres Iniesta's gone, so they'll be working hard to replace Xavi and Andres Iniesta. I don't know if Philippe's incomplete. The thing with Felipe Coutinho, he's shown one thing, that he's a one-dimension player. If he doesn't get that thing, he goes to the left, sweeping to the right, and to bend the ball to the net. You know, if you look at the World Cup, would have been Brazil's best player if he had a little bit dynamism in his game. Once Neymar occupied that left-hand channel, it was difficult for him to get in his stride. And there were a few pocket moments where he got into his stride. We saw what he could do. Goalkeeper made some saves. He scored a beautiful goal. But you see, you need to find dynamism into your game. You need to change the game. You need to be able to turn the game around. Dembele, nobody's going to talk about acclimatization again. They spent enough time in Barcelona. He needs to come in and come good. Maybe the coach should change the way they play a little bit, because yeah, he's been doing that. They're not really playing the way they played under Pep Guardiola or Luis Enrique, but a little bit of directness to the Barcelona style because of the players you have. Because let's say the coaches should play to the strength of his players, not just the way the tradition of the club is. Maybe to help them. Atletico Madrid for me is still one of the best teams in Spain. They still make it in the top 3. Real Madrid and Barcelona are in a world of their own. Anybody who stand up to challenge them must really get something going for them. So I think it's still going to be a battle between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona in La Liga. In Italy, good news for AC Milan, the fact that the Court of Arbitration for Sports have ruled in their favor, so they will play in the UEFA Europa Cup. They've got that decision on their side, so there is no problem with them anymore. It's still going to be a one-way traffic. Juventus have won the Italian Serie A for 7 seasons on the row. They are going to do it again for the next 2 or 3 seasons. The only team that was supposed to challenge them, Napoli, they've been stripped of their coach, stripped of one of the best midfielder, and a few other transfers will still be done. Everything that happens in Serie A works to the advantage of Juventus. Any way it goes, it works to the advantage of Juventus. But then I'm thinking that AS Roma needs to change a few things in their team, and then Lazio also should try. AC Milan will not be able to compete with the big boys for a while, but given time, I think the sleeping giant of Italian football might just rise up and come back to the party. But it needs a whole lot for that to happen. In Germany, it's still going to be a Bayern Munich title to lose. But there are some interesting things I like about Borussia Dortmund, and the things I love about Borussia Dortmund is the fact that they have this thing about them to be able to sign some youngsters or groom them through their training system and make them very, 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 very good. Let's start with Christian Pulisic, the 19-year-old US men national football team player, crafty attacker, and had some time to recharge his battery. Didn't go to the World Cup. Was last in action when the USA won a friendly 3-0 against Bolivia in Pennsylvania. That was somewhere in May. So he's really rested very, very well. We'll come into this feel fully energized and ready to go. Sergio Gomez, Sergio Gomez is another fantastic player that they've got in that Borussia Dortmund team. And then there is Alexander Isak. Okay, Isaac or Isaac, they call him now. Yes, so that, that man is a Swedish player. And, for me, one player that really, really makes the game sweet, the way he plays, the way he runs, his dribbles, and his ability to pass. And then there's Jadon Sancho. He moved from Man City last season. He's an English boy, but an English boy with a difference. It looks like that player that left Arsenal for Werder Bremen. There's a German player that left Arsenal for Werder Bremen. I've forgotten his name, but very fine player that I felt Arsenal shouldn't have let go. I think it's time for Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich sent him on loan. A very, very good player in their team too. So when you look at the number of players that they've lost, then there's Dan Axel Zagadou too, who also plays for Borussia Dortmund. If you look at the amount of players that they've let go and the fact that they still have these kinds of players in their fold, tells me that if the coach manages the situation very well, Borussia Dortmund might just be one team to look out for in this new season. They get their ad going. Schalke 04 also have some very, very fine and enterprising young players that you need to look at. When you get past that, you go to the French Ligue 1. I want to see how the dressing room of Paris Saint-Germain will look this time around. And last time around, the biggest player in the dressing room was Neymar. Now, Mbappe has gone on to win the World Cup, best young player. Neymar can come in with Serge Gnabry. Thank you very much. Serge Gnabry is the player I was trying to remember. Now, Mbappe has gone on to win the World Cup. He's the best young player in the team. Has changed with a period of time. Cavani had to tell you that the reason why his team lost was because he didn't play in that game, blah, 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 blah. Neymar, the only thing everybody can remember Neymar for coming from this World Cup is the fact that he was rolling. It was the roller skater of the World Cup. So this time around, I think it's going to be different. But the management, we all know that the management are eating from the shrine of Neymar, because Neymar is a business proposition. It's just like what Ronaldo is to Juventus right now. Ronaldo is not a player that they signed. It's a business partnership. You understand? It's a conglomerate. Two teams, two companies coming together. Ronaldo is a company on its own. Juventus is a company on its own. First time when you see a company, the club is signing a player that is actually bigger than the club. So it's the same thing with Neymar and Paris Saint-Germain. Well, let's see how it goes. Would Monaco be able to take advantage of that? I still think that they are strong enough. They have a very good team. They have a very good team. Peter said rolling for 14 minutes. They have a very good team that should be able to compete But I don't think that the owners of Paris Saint-Germain actually are investing that much money just to continue to win the French League One. You don't need much money to win the French League One. Just get a good team, put them together, and you win the French League One. I think what they want is to win the Champions League. Do they have the players to do it? I don't think so. And they are not doing anything in the transfer market so far. They've really not brought in anything that make you think, okay, yes, this is what will make it happen. Taiwo Somoye said, good job. If you were Unai Emery, how would you set up the Arsenal? Sorry, guys, that's a phone call disturbing us now. Let me put the phone aside. No, if you were Unai Emery, how would you set up the Arsenal team to get good results? That's a little bit tough, but I would try to play a 4-2-3-1 formation with Lacazette up front. I would tell the Gabonese guy, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, to play from the left-hand side and drift in, because it seems to give him room to run, spaces on the ball, and then I put Ozil directly in the middle. Yeah, number 10 players in number 10. Now, the reason why I have two people in front of the defense is, let's not forget that Arsenal's problem has always been with the defensive position in terms of quelling opposition's attack. So the Lucas guy, the Uruguayan, will be one man in that middle. I don't trust Granit Xhaka that much, so I would rather play Aaron Ramsey and Lucas in front of the defense line, with Ramsey having the freedom to go and come back. He loves to go. He can pop in and score a few goals. So Torreira, I put Ramsey and Torreira in that position, and then put Mkhitaryan to the right-hand side, put in Mesut Ozil on top of the diamond, and then allow Lacazette to be up front. Because of the players you've got to be able to manage them very, very well. And what that does for you is, at any given time, you can make a substitution and switch the team. Take, for instance, Ozil is in one of those disappearing mode that he normally does. You can pull out Ozil, bring in any other player to play that. I mean, if you bring in Granit Xhaka, for instance, you push Ramsey up front again to play in the Ozil position. You still have a good balance in your team. You can take out Mkhitaryan and bring in any other player, or probably take out Mkhitaryan and bring in Kolasinac, and then ask Aubameyang to go join Lacazette in a twin strike position, and then Kolasinac plays on the left-hand side. It still help the team to get its shape and balance. What Arsenal should be for this season going forward is, they should not be so predictable that every opponent that is playing against Arsenal knows how they are going to come out, what they are going to do, how they are going to look like, because that's been the very biggest problem with Arsenal. Everybody seems to know, even in their sleep, no Arsenal is going to play. So there is nothing Arsenal does that surprises people. I just hope that they get it right. Ugoji Chukwudi say, hi, Elegbete. Do you see Barcelona position for a treble this season with their current squad? No. Barcelona is not going to win a treble. No. Barcelona does not have the midfield yet to speak of treble right now. And let's be very honest, Messi being Messi is hard to judge. But once Cristiano Ronaldo has left, I think the standard of Messi is going to drop, because maybe on the European scene, it seemed to me like Messi has also given up on the European scene. Like, Cristiano Ronaldo would be the all-time most games against teams like all those Levski, Sofia, Astana, Champions League group games, where he will now go and score 5 goals home and away and top it. But I think Messi's killer instincts for goals have dropped. Cristiano Ronaldo, on the other hand, still is crazy about scoring goals. So I don't know, but Juventus, will they win the Champions League? It's hard to write Cristiano Ronaldo out when they get to the finals. Without Cristiano Ronaldo, they've been to 2 finals in a 3-year space. Let's see what they do this time around. I don't know. Anything is possible, but there are a few other teams that are also gunning for it. Liverpool was in the final last season. It means that other English team can tell themselves that we can do better than Liverpool. Man City is there. Jose Mourinho, we don't know what he's going to do, but I really don't have faith in Jose Mourinho and Manchester United this season because their transfer activities is not pleasing to me. The team itself, the shape of the team is also not really pleasing because it looks to me like they are going to continue drawing matches, dropping points like they did last season. And really nothing about this team. And even Jose Mourinho's body language is more like, I'm going to keep bamboozling people, keep attacking people in the press and reminding people of what I have achieved before. And then the quick defense of, you know what, this club was a basket of rubbish before I took it over, and you cannot expect me to work miracle or work magic. I think that's what Mourinho will come up with in all of his press conferences. The English league is not too tough, so it would obviously make the top four, that's for sure. But other than that, I don't think Manchester United have a team that can beat their chest right now and say they will win the league title. I also don't think if Manchester United cannot beat their chest to win the league title, I don't think they can also beat their chest to say they will win the Champions League. Almost away Precious. Say good afternoon, boss. There are rumors of Hazard leaving Chelsea for Madrid. Who do you think needs Eden more this coming season, Chelsea or Real? I don't even think that Real Madrid need Eden Hazard. I don't think so. Vinicius is coming. He might not be playing as a top player in the team, but I don't think that Hazard is a player they need. One, Hazard falls too much. Hazard keeps the ball too long on his feet. Madrid does not play like that. Can he adapt to playing? Because we've seen him play for Belgium and seen him play for Chelsea. It's the same player across board. Hazard also does not thrive when the entire focus is not on him. If you like, sign Hazard with 200 million, the focus cannot be on him. It will just go there and have pretty much average season. At some point, the coach will get fed up with him not releasing the ball on time and then send him to the bench. Another thing that would affect Hazard playing for Real Madrid is the fact that once Ronaldo has left that team, Gareth Bale will step up unless Gareth Bale gets injured. Gareth Bale will step up to start coming from that left channel. Hazard does not know how to play anywhere else on the field than the left channel. We saw last season where Antonio Conte wanted to play him through the middle, like want to change his game, and that became a problem. So I think Hazard playing in that left channel will also be a problem because they will not play Karim Benzema unless he's selling as a main central focus of the attack. Then Gareth Bale will play through that left channel. So I don't think they need him. He had better find a way to get his game going in Chelsea and stay put. But, I don't know. Anything can happen, but let's wait. I don't count Hazard to be... I have all of the titles that Chelsea have won with Hazard. Hazard has not been, for me, the best player in the team. The guy who, if you take him away, the team will not have won the title. I don't see that. So let's see how it goes anyway. Tiki Kona to say, what do you see Chelsea at the end of the season and how good is Jorginho? Well, Jorginho is very good, but only in one trick can make a Forest. I don't see Chelsea winning the title at the end of the season. One team that will not win the title that I'm very, very certain of the big six is Chelsea. This Chelsea team cannot win the title. If they decide to play the way, Maurizio Sarri wants to play, they still will not win the title because they would be like that AVB team. They'll play high line. The day they win, it will be very, very exciting, very, very entertaining. But the day they lose, it will be scandalous, like 5-2, 4-1, bashing, those kind of things that the English press will spread on their front page, and you would be wondering, like, how did that happen? So I don't think Chelsea does not have a coach that have managed to win a league title anywhere before. Highest thing is achieved is game promotion with the team, but I don't think it's going to win the title. Pete Flo says, knowing that Sarri prefers natural left back and right back in his formation, or what does this formation signal to Moses, knowing fully well Abzi, as Abzi does a lot of covering for him at the back, and Sarri might prefer. So Moses would not have play as well. It will go back again to sitting on the bench a lot because if Eden Hazard does not go, the style that Sarri plays cannot accommodate two players who hang onto the ball too much. But let's give Victor Moses a lot of credit. Victor Moses playing for Chelsea, he plays very well. Plays fantastically well. He releases the ball on time. He crosses very well. He works his source off. If Willian does not go, the style of Sarri favors Willian more than it favors Victor Moses. If Hazard does not go, you can put Hazard on the bench. You'll find a way to get Hazard playing. And most likely, Sarri plays a system that is more of a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-4. When they lose the ball, it becomes a 4-4-2. He likes to play twin strikers. Let's see how it goes. But I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for Victor Moses. It's going to be a little bit difficult. But then let's not jump the gun yet. Let's wait and see. I think that preseason is a place where you go to sweat and then you win your jerseys. One thing coming from the World Cup, some of these players who's gone to the World Cup would not fit in immediately because they've not had a good preseason with the coach. But because of the coach, I think some of them will break their preseason, their break and come early and get into the groove and try to impress the coach and see. If Sarri does not get the signing, the number of signing he is looking for, and he's got to make do with the players got. It's just what it is. Almost way precious. So thanks for your very honest analysis, boss. I only stumbled on this show as I stepped out for lunch. Is this a regular show and where does it start? 3 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday. That's where we are at right now. It's called the Table Talk. We're going to have this till the season starts. And when the season starts, we have to like readjust the time again and see where it fits. But it's Monday to Friday. I don't think we're going to be having it 3 p.m. on Saturdays and on Sundays because of match time. Maybe on Saturdays and on Sunday, if we decide to run it, we just might be doing it earlier, like 10 a.m. or so. I don't know what time it is we'll do it. But let's not forget that I also have the job of running as a CEO of GPF Media, owners of Elegbete TV. So some other things, work things might take me away, but I would try. I mean, I've spoken to my team. My team is very, very encouraging. They are very, very supportive. They've given me 1 hour on their platform. It's not because I'm the CEO does not mean I can just take. They give me 1 hour on their platform to do my thing because it matters to me to have a channel where I can relate with my fans. I really miss that chance. People think I don't miss it. I do. I miss the chance to talk sports like this, and I'm pleased with the fact that we have a lot of people. It's been 53 minutes, and a lot of people have been dropping comments. I've been seeing this comment. It's encouraging. So if the people would always be around to join in on the conversation, why not? We'll do it every day, Mondays to Friday, and then we'll decide what we'll do on Saturdays and on Sundays. But until then, let's just try the Table Talk Mondays to Friday, 3 p.m. every day, and see how it goes. It means that all of my meetings, all of my schedules, I will have to beg Precious to make sure that I am next to this computer every single day, Monday to Friday, 3 o'clock. So anywhere we go, we must open the window of being around. And if I'm not going to be around, maybe we'll find a way around it. But for now, I think I've enjoyed this today. I've enjoyed this today, and we can continue thereafter. And then there is a few other things I wanted to look at before we go. Isn't it surprising that a team like Bayern is not signing anybody? I mean, no major real movement in Germany, and they're having a new coach, Kovac. And then you also look at the fact that I think that Lewandowski, not just judging from the World Cup, but from last season and last season, Lewandowski is beginning to tire out a little bit. I don't know, just my opinion anyway. It's just my curious thinking that they need a striker because Muller has dropped. So if your Lewandowski has dropped, you're in the league, they was obviously muscle their way to win it because the other teams, the Borussia Dortmund, the Eintracht Frankfurt, Schalke 04, Werder Bremen, RB Leipzig, they are really not ready to up their game. They are just incubators who groom players and get ready to sell them. Just ready to sell them and add money to the bank. Well, you won't blame them. It's the system, it's the way it is. But I think that activity might just affect them in the Champions League. I must be precious. I never thought Bayern's inactivity. Vidal is also having just 1 year left on his deal. Yeah, there are a few players in that Bayern team. Normally, I thought that Bayern would be feeding their team, trying to fuse it because a lot of people are Ribery and Ruben. These guys are getting old. Let's not forget, getting old. Muller, not Muller is not the Muller of 3, 4, 5 seasons ago anymore. Lewandowski, his mind is neither here nor there. The team, the defense line also Boateng is not the Boateng we used to know. It's beginning to fall out of the pecking order. And Manenoana was a World Cup back from injury, not the same world class goalkeeper we used to know. Maybe it would rise again, but this is how Casillas started. But I don't know what next season it would be doing the regular Casillas, but then that was how it went down. So I'm just thinking Bayern should have tried to strengthen. Could it just be the season where I should make bold to predict that Bayern will not win the Bayern Bundesliga, that another team will take over? Well, maybe next week. Maybe next week I'll find the courage to make that prediction. Next week I'll find the courage to make that prediction. And the one bold prediction I've made today is that Tottenham Hotspur will not make the top 4. So let's see how it goes. We've got 4 minutes today, or less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Man, it's 60 seconds, 60 minutes already. That's fine. I think I've enjoyed today. Something we'll do. I must wait pressure say exactly, sir. The core of that team is on the downward slide. Ribery, Lewandowski, Robben, and only Lamb was properly replaced with Kimmich. Yes, so to me, Bayern this season, Bayern might just lose the title, lose the double, and also get thrashing in the Champions League to give them that rude awakening. But it's unfortunate because the coach, Kovac, who they brought in, everybody might just blame him. He doesn't know what he's doing. But I think beforehand, let's have that understanding that they have a team that has aged, and they've not properly tried to replace a lot of the aged players in that team. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happened. Now, let me say a very big thank you to my team, Kalejai, Precious, and the crew here. And let me also say a very big thank you to you guys all. Most especially the guy who instigated the show for today, Oluwafemi Adebola, thank you very much. Matthias Jacob, thank you very much. Joseph Smith, Taiwo Sumoye, Peter Pitflow, all of you, Ugodi Chukudi, Mosue Precious, who stumbled on us by accident when he went out to take his lunch. Thank you very much to all of you for joining in on the show. But don't forget to, it's easier when you subscribe to the Elegbete TV channel on YouTube. It's free, because sometimes when I say subscribe, people think it's like DSF, you need to pay money. It's actually free. Just click on the red button to subscribe. You get notification when we see anything, when we do anything. And also help us to watch our other content, like what we're doing in grassroots, trying to put the spotlight on grassroots, young talent. We are very happy that Lawal, that we spotlighted during the Lagos State FA Cup, is playing for the Nigeria under-15 in Algeria. It's a thing of pride, that would take pride in, like, okay, what we're doing is giving these people attention. Nobody is giving them attention, so maybe we decide to do that's what we want to do, and we're happy that it's bringing a little bit of recognition to these people. Sometimes you must agree to walk behind the scene without getting appreciation. Not every work you would do, like when I was on radio where the focus is on you, you've got to agree that sometimes you step back and give attention to other people. We're able to do that. We're hoping to that very soon. Peter Pitflow, for instance, we're hoping soon that very soon we'll give you the right tools so that you'll be a reporter all the way from Port Harcourt. But look at the league that we thought we wanted to invest our time and resources into. Look at how bad it is right now. We just hope that things can get better. But until then, let's do this again on Monday, 3 p.m. And, if you enjoyed what we did today, share the information with your friends, tell people about it. Let's spend 1 hour start talking, and then come with your own questions, because I can't talk like a machine. I need to answer your questions. Let's get the conversation going. You also have to there are some things that I don't know. Let's share our ideas and opinions together. And until then, subscribe to all our channels, Elegbete TV on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, as well as YouTube. Do have yourself a lovely day. Bye.